mga kababayan, ang pambansang awit ng Pilipinas. Hayang mag-ibig sa silamanan, hayang ng puso sa tiniko'y buhay, upang tinirang kwenta ng pag-ibig sa manlulubig. Di ka pasisipin sa nagtatagpulong sa simula, sa ikaw ang kanilang tulakaw sa pagkayang ginagawa. Sa lang matawag ko'y ay nanatiligin, ang ituloy na tarong yakailan, ang kanyang matitigil. Lumanang araw na walang pagsikta, ay naging sa mo. Ang higaya na kay magami, ang mamatay ng dahil sa'yo. Isang naging layon, magkaisa ang magmundo, naiingan ay marunong. Tayo mula sa hamon ng daga, niyang mga inarumalang. Pinagin sa puso ang paniniwala, ang ihaw para sa kawalan. Ang sanmo'y naluntay, mula na bawis suot buhay, kapayapaan na naungan, ay ang pinanglagantan. Alhamdulillah, alhamdulillah, pagpalain mo sa mundo. Magsamo, lagi kang mamahalin, walang pipigil sa damdamin, mga paglago'y tutuparin. Habang buhay kami sa'yo'y magpapatay, mananatili sa puso't isipan. Ang nakakumuting ay nagbuwis ng buhay, nasa piling na may kapal. Ang samo'y naluntay, mula ng bawis suot buhay, kapayapaan na natungan, ay ating ang nakamtan. Alhamdulillah, alhamdulillah, pagpalain mo sa mundo. Administration ay tumalakay sa naisipang kasawayan at pinakapanahon. Tingnan at komentaryo at balita ang programa ito'y para sa lahat. Walang pinigilan, walang pinatanggihan, at walang pinapanigan ang programa ito. Ang programa ito ay public service sa kahanginan at trabaho lamang.
Female voice, male voice, lolly voice, monster voice.
Okay, time check natin sa umaga ito. 19 minutos po pasado alas 7. Isang oras lang ang balita natin. Okay, sa umagang ito mga kababayan, no? Okay, pumasok ang programa ng Consolidated News. Sa ngalan po ng Halo-Halo Special, Opinion Balita at iba pa, kasama po serbisyo publiko tinig ng mamamayan at sa kasumbungan ng mamamayan. Babati tayo, magandang umaga. Good morning. Okay, sa universal greeting natin, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi ta'ala wabarakatuh. Okay, matindi po ang mga binitawan po ni Tatay Digong, no? Okay, hindi ako pahuhuli ng buhay. Ayon po kay Tatay Digong, no? Medyo seryoso ito, no? Hindi ako pahuli ng buhay. Okay, sabi naman ng Trillanes, former Senator Trillanes, sa mga PNP bawiin mga baril ni Tatay Digong mga suki, no? Okay. So medyo seryoso itong usapan, no? Okay, medyo seryoso po ang usapan mga kababayan. Ayan. So isa lang ko kay Trillanes kasi nauna siya. Okay, mga suki, dito sa platform natin, pakinggan natin si Senator Trillanes, no? Okay. Isa rin itong, okay, palaban. Okay, galing po sa opposition, no? Okay, alam mo ng programa natin, patas-patas lahat, no? So, karoon tayo mag-komentaryo. Pakinggan muna natin ito. Ano po sinabi ni Senator Trillanes, mga kababayan, no? Ayan. Sige.
Naniniwala si dating Senador Antonio Trillanes IV na dapat kansilahin ng Philippine National Police ang lisensya at maging ang higit 300 baril ni dating Pangulong Rodrigo Duterte. Kasunod na rin ito ng pag-insight to sedition o succession nito. Ayon kay Trillanes, posibleng gamitin ni Duterte ang nasa 364 na baril laban sa gobyerno. Una natin question ni Sibac Party List Representative Eddie Villanueva ang tila labis-labis na bilang ng baril na maaaring ipangalan sa isang individual. Kaya inihain ni Villanueva ang House Bill 9718 na naglalayong itakda sa 20 armas ang pinakamaraming bilang na maaaring ipangalan sa isang gun owner. Naniniwala si dating Senador Antonio Trillanes IV na dapat kansilahin ng Philippine National Police ang lisensya at maging ang higit 300 baril ni dating Pangulong Rodrigo Duterte. Kasunod na rin ito ng pag-insight to sedition o succession nito. Ayon kay Trillanes, posibleng gamitin ni Duterte ang nasa 364 na baril laban sa gobyerno. Una natin question ni Sibac Party List Representative Eddie Villanueva ang tila labis-labis na bilang ng baril na maaaring ipangalan sa isang individual. Kaya inihain ni Villanueva ang House Bill 9718 na naglalayong itakda sa 20 armas ang pinakamaraming bilang na maaaring ipangalan sa isang gun owner. Naniniwala si dating Senador Antonio Trillanes IV na dapat kansilahin ng Philippine National Police ang lisensya at maging ang higit 300 baril ni dating Pangulong Rodrigo Duterte. Kasunod na rin ito ng pag-insight to sedition o succession nito. Ayon kay Trillanes, posibleng gamitin ni Duterte ang nasa 364 na baril laban sa gobyerno. Una natin question ni Sibac Party List Representative Eddie Villanueva ang tila labis-labis na bilang ng baril na maaaring ipangalan sa isang individual. Kaya inihain ni Villanueva ang House Bill 9718 na naglalayong itakda sa 20 armas ang pinakamaraming bilang na maaaring ipangalan sa isang gun owner. Naniniwala si dating Senator.
Okay, tama na. 3 beses po mga suki, mga kababayan, no? Okay, so yan po ang mga kahilingan po ni Senator Antonio Trillanes, no? Report. Okay. Medyo seryoso, no? Ayan po mga suki, mga kababayan. Okay, sandali lang. Mag-break muna ako, no? Okay, sandali lang. Saka tayong magpatuloy na balita, mga kababayan.
mabis-bis sa kahanginan at trabaho lamang.
Okay, hindi ako pahuli ng buhay, no? Ito naman sagot po ni Tatay Digong, okay, leader po ng ng Mindanao. Okay, pakinggan natin para parehas sila marinig po mga kababayan, no? Opposition at saka itong Duterte cam mga suki, no? Okay, pakinggan natin para patas ba? So, medyo seryoso mga suki, no? Ayan. Di siya pahuli ng buhay.
Walang tinutulungan kahit na sinong tumapat. Ito si Bana, kinakalaban lahat. Kapag mali ang unang naturo mula sa ugat. Dito sa ating mga nagmamagaling, mga ugaling dilawan naman na puro praning. Mga bundok ang dating, galing magsinungaling. Wala namang mga higati ang nakakapuling. Mga Bana, pinapan natin lahat. Walang tinutulungan kahit na sinong tumapat. Ito si Bana, kinakalaban lahat. Kapag mali ang unang naturo mula sa ugat. Unti-unting nagbabago mga galaw sa Pinas. Unti-unting nauubos mga dilaw na ungas. Di na kami mabibigani sa mga palabas. Mga kabok kayong iruda sa saka sa talas. Nandito na ang wakas sa tagal ng panahon. Nilapas na ng iyong bayan ng maraming taon. Ito na ang panahon upang kami mga ipaglalaban na.
Dinaan po sa kanta.
Pinapan natin lahat. Walang tinutulungan kahit na sinong tumapat. Ito si Bana, kinakalaban lahat. Kapag mali ang unang naturo mula sa ugat. Mga di magpapapitag sa mga patibon. Sa mapapaho na institusyong awigan ko. Hindi na namin kailangan na kayo'y isuplong. Isusumbong na lang namin kayo kitali. Mga Bana, pinapan natin lahat. Walang tinutulungan kahit na sinong tumapat. Ito si Bana, kinakalaban lahat. Kapag mali ang unang naturo mula sa ugat.
No one is above the law. No one is above the law.
The U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken is about to hold a news conference in Tel Aviv.
My God, I hate drugs.
Pinapan natin lahat. Walang tinutulungan kahit na sinong tumapat. Ito si Bana, kinakalaban lahat. Kapag mali ang unang naturo mula sa ugat. Tugan mo mang humarang ay mayayari ka boy. Mga maling balik kayo ay kanyang itataboy. Kapag bumanat siya boy ay sigurado pusoy. Sisilabakan ng buhay sa nagbabalang na boy.
Female voice. Male voice. Lolly voice. Monster voice.
Kinakalaban lahat. Kapag mali ang unang naturo mula sa ugat. Mga Bana, pinapan natin lahat. Walang tinutulungan kahit na sinong tumapat. Ito si Bana, kinakalaban lahat. Kapag mali ang unang naturo mula sa ugat. Dito sa ating mga nagmamagaling. Mga ugaling dilawan naman na puro praning. Mga bundok ang dating, galing magsinungaling. Wala namang mga higati ang nakakapuling. Mga Bana, pinapan natin lahat. Walang tinutulungan kahit na sinong tumapat. Ito si Bana, kinakalaban lahat. Kapag mali ang unang naturo mula sa ugat. Unti-unting nagbabago mga galaw sa Pinas. Unti-unting nauubos mga dilaw na ungas. Di na kami mapipigani sa mga palabas. Mga kabok kayong iruta sa sakat sa tanda. Nandito na ang wakas sa tagal na panahon. Nilapas na ngayong bayan ng maraming taon. Ito na ang panahon upang kami mga ipaglalaban namin ang kapakanan ng lahat. Para na pinapanap ang lahat. Walang tinutulungan kahit na sinong tumapat. Ito si Pana, kinakalaban lahat. Kapag mali ang unang natuto mula sa ikat. Ang kami magpapabigat sa mga patibon. Sa mapapaho na istinyong awigan ko. Hindi na namin kailangan na kayo'y isutlong. Isusumbong na lang namin kayo kitali. May Pana, pinapanap ang lahat. Walang tinutulungan kahit na sinong tumapat. Ito si Pana, kinakalaban lahat. Kapag mali ang unang natuto mula sa ikat. Pana.
No one is above the law. No one is above the law. My God, I hate drugs.
May Pana, pinapanap ang lahat. Walang tinutulungan kahit na sinong tumapat. Ito si Pana, kinakalaban lahat. Kapag mali ang
Dinadaan sa kanta, no? Okay, galing na ito sa grupo ni Tatay Digong.
mayayari ka boy. Mga maling balita tayo ay kanyang itataboy. Kapag pumanat siya boy, ay siguradong pusoy. Sisilapakan ng buhay sa nagbabalang lakoy. May Pana, pinapanap ang lahat. Walang tinutulungan kahit na sinong tumapat. Ito si Pana, kinakalaban lahat. Kapag mali ang unang natulo mula sa sikat. Para may Pana, pinapanap ang lahat. Walang tinutulungan kahit na sinong tumapat. Ito si Pana, kinakalaban lahat. Kapag mali ang unang natulo mula sa sikat. Marami dito sa ating mga nagmamagaling. Mga ugaling dilawan naman na puro praning. Mga bulok ang dating, galing magsinungaling. Wala namang mga higati ang nakakapuling. Para may Pana, pinapanap ang lahat. Walang tinutulungan kahit na sinong tumapat. Ito si Pana, kinakalaban lahat. Kapag mali ang unang natuto mula sa ikat. Unti-unting nagbabago mga galaw sa Pinas. Unti-unting nauubos mga dilaw na ungas. Di na kami mapipigani sa mga palabas. Mga kabok kayong iruta sa sakat sa tanda. Nandito na ang wakas sa tagal na panahon. Nilapas na ngayong bayan ng maraming taon. Ito na ang panahon upang kami mga ipaglalaban namin ang kapakanan ng lahat. Para may Pana, pinapanap ang lahat. Walang tinutulungan kahit na sinong tumapat. Ito si Pana, kinakalaban lahat. Kapag mali ang unang natuto mula sa ikat. Ang kami magpapabigat sa mga patibon. Sa mapapaho na istinyong awigan ko. Hindi na namin kailangan na kayo'y isutlong. Isusumbong na lang namin kayo kitali. Para may Pana, pinapanap ang lahat. Walang tinutulungan kahit na sinong tumapat. Ito si Pana, kinakalaban lahat. Kapag mali ang unang natulo mula sa ikat. Pana.
No one is above the law. No one is above the law.
Sige ba? Wala na?
Oh, kalma. Baby, kalma. Huwag mo naman akong bigyan ng dahilan para tatihan ka. Kalma.
Hello! Siyempre, kalma lang mga kababayan. Mainit ka agad kasi simula pa lang. Kalma, kalma. Sabi niya, nasa atin ang huling halakha. Diba, sinabi ko naman sa inyo nasa atin ang huling halakhak. Mamaya pag-uusapan natin yung huling halakhak na yan. Oy, Boss Gada! Ininja mo na naman kami. Ininja mo na naman kami, ha? Mamaya, sasabihin ko na yung sinabi ng itim na itlog. May binulog sa akin sa itim na itlog. Ano ba ngayon? Wednesday. Magandang Wednesday sa inyong lahat. Ako po si Banat Bayat sa mga nanonood po sa iba't ibang dako ng Earth. Hello po sa inyo. Konbango Minasan. Habibi. Ciao. Shishi. Shushu. Naimbag Garabi. Yes, Pangan. Maraming salamat. Oh, Shishi from Canada. Maraming salamat po, Sir ba o Mama? Just Pangan. Hello po sa inyo lahat. O, siyempre, mga taga-Davao, binabati natin na bumati ng mga Bisaya. Mag-Bisaya man tayo at hindi tayo makasabot ng Bisaya. Ano ba mag-Bisaya ng pagbati na buntag? Mali. Ayun, maayong buntag di ay. Yo, maayong buntag di ay. Maayong buntag. Oh, maayong gabi. Yan. Marami pa naman tayo mga Bisaya na nanonood dito. Akala nila Bisaya si Banat Bay kasi bye ba? Hindi po ibig sabihin ng bay ay yung parang bay sa Bisaya. Hindi po. Banat bay. As in, banat bayot. Ganon. Banat bayot. No. Siyempre, binabati natin yung mga kababayan natin sa City of Jamaica. Marami tayong kababayan dyan sa Amerika. Mga kababayan natin sa Amerika, binabati ko po kayo ng what's up? At syempre, mga taga-Canada, pwede yung bang pakihunting si
Female voice.
Punan dyan?
Monster voice. Female voice.
Mga taga-Canada,
Male
mag-ipon
voice.
kayo, ha? Tapos ipabudol nyo kay Budol Punan para maganda. Mag-ipon kayo, tapos ilagay nyo sa kanyang project. Tama, mali. Diba? Baka-importante niyan. Siyempre, binabati natin yung mga lahat na nagme-message sa atin. Minsan, alam mo, nahirapan ako magbasa ng message kasi ang dami nagme-message. May nag-message pa. Mahal na ata kita. Naku, sabi ko, pambihira, oo. Pambihira, oo. Oy, by the way, Highway, binabati natin ng happy birthday. Walang iba kung hindi si Mika. Si Mocha Girl Mika. Binabati natin si Mocha Girl Mika. Sa mga nais magbati sa kanya, dito nyo nalang batiin siya. Mga nais magregalo. Joke lang po, ha. Ay, nako, joke lang, joke. Mamaya, kukunta naman tayo ng mga animal. Ano, sabihin na, si Manan ba? Nagpaparinig ba? Nagpaparinig. Ginagaya ko lang si Chloe ba?
Okay, kung hey Pachoy, New Year pala ng okay, mga inchik mga kababayan, no? Okay, sa kasalukuyan. Kahapon, no? Okay, kung hey Pachoy. Okay, galing po sa programa natin, no?
Hi, Mika. Happy birthday. Sana makasama ka naman sa Japan sa susunod. Yun ang wish ko sa'yo. Yan ang wish ko sa'yo, Mika. Sa mga nanonood na kaibigan ni Mika, kamang-anak, pakisabi sa kanya yan ang wish ko. Makasama naman sa Japan. Alam mo kung sino pa yung tumira sa Japan ang hindi tumira sa Japan, alam nyo ba nag-aral yan? Fluent na yan, mag-Nihongo kasi nga po nag-aral yan sa Japan, pero hindi makabalik sa Japan. Ang bihirang buhay area. Mika, ilang taon ka na? Si Mika po ay 22. Ay, 21 pala, 21. Meron ako sa iyong kanta, Mika, para naman matuwa-tuwa ka, meron ako sa iyong kanta. Itong kanta to ay para sa iyo.
Oh, kalma. Baby, kalma.
Kalma!
Huwag mo naman akong bigyan ng dahilan para tatihan ka. Oh, kalma.
Pak! Ay, grabe. Talagang merong malupit na ayan. Anyway, binabati natin siya ng happy birthday. Sino ba? Baka may birthday pa dito.
Okay, mayaman mga vlogger ito. Okay, nila Banat Day. Banat Bay. Okay, dyan natin sa Makati ang kanyang studio, no? Ayan, mga mayaman. Vlogger po mga suki. Okay? Itong si Banat din, no? Okay, lilipat ako sa itong latest po si Anthony Blinken po. Hamas response creates space for truth, mga kababayan, no? Okay. Ito ang susunod natin. Okay, mga kung ano na po, update po sa itong peace deal. Itong itong Israeli government at saka itong Hamas militant, mga kababayan, no? Okay, pakinggan natin. Ayan. Okay, sandali lang. Okay, break muna natin, no? Okay, ang time check natin ay 47 minutos. 43 minutos. Masana na pala 7. Okay, pakinggan natin ito, no?
Female voice, male voice, lolly voice, monster voice.
Okay, sana matagpuan na nila itong ceasefire, no? Pakinggan natin si Anthony Blinken. Okay, Secretary of State ng Amerika, mga kababayan, no? Okay. Ayan.
As we've been reporting, he's been trying to secure a ceasefire agreement with Israel following a proposal by Hamas. Let's listen in.
Hostages home. I've met with families of the hostages multiple times during prior visits, as well as in Washington, and I expect to see them again tomorrow. The sheer agony, not knowing the fate of your loved one, it's almost unimaginable. And I know that pain is almost unbearable. So we have been intensely focused from day one on getting the hostages, all the hostages, back with their families where they belong. And we will keep that focus until we get them back. We had an opportunity today to discuss with the Israeli government the response that Hamas sent last night to the proposal that the United States, Qatar, and Egypt had put together to bring the remaining hostages home and extend the humanitarian pause. What I can tell you about these discussions is that while there are some clear non-starters in Hamas's response, we do think it creates space for agreement to be reached. And we will work at that relentlessly until we get there. We had extensive discussions with the Prime Minister and national security leaders on the status of the military campaign to defeat Hamas and on the progress toward achieving the fundamental objective of ensuring that October 7th never happens again. At the same time, we're continuing to work closely with Israel and Lebanon on diplomatic efforts to de-escalate tensions on Israel's northern border so that families can return to their homes, both in northern Israel and in southern Lebanon, and live in peace and security. We also discussed the imperative of maximizing civilian protection and humanitarian aid to address the ongoing suffering of Palestinian civilians in Gaza. Nearly 2 million people have been displaced from their homes. Hundreds of thousands are experiencing acute hunger. Most have lost someone that they love. And day after day, more people are killed. On all of my previous visits here, and pretty much every day in between, we have pressed Israel in concrete ways to strengthen civilian protection, to get more assistance to those who need it. And over the past 4 months, Israel has taken steps to do just that, starting the flow of aid, doubling it during the first pause for hostage releases, opening the north and south corridors in Gaza so that people could move out of immediate harm's way through these corridors with 4 hours pause every day, 3 hours notice. Opening Kerem Shalom, starting the flow of assistance from Jordan, establishing deconfliction mechanisms for humanitarian sites. As a result, today, more assistance than ever is moving into Gaza from more places than at any time since October 7th. As the largest donor of humanitarian aid to the Palestinians, the United States has helped provide much of that assistance, including funding 90,000 metric tons of flour delivered from Ashdod Port. That's enough to provide bread for 1.4 million people for the next 5 months. A UN team began its mission to the north to assess conditions for the civilians who are still there, as well as what needs to be done to allow displaced Palestinians to return back home to the north. And yet, as I said to the Prime Minister and to other Israeli officials today, the daily toll that its military operations continue to take on innocent civilians remains too high. In our discussions today, I highlighted some key steps that Israel should take to ensure that more aid reaches more people in Gaza. Israel should open a res so that assistance can flow to northern Gaza, where, as I said, hundreds of thousands of people are struggling to survive under dire conditions. It should expedite the flow of humanitarian assistance from Jordan. It should strengthen deconfliction and improve coordination with the humanitarian providers. And Israel must ensure that the delivery of life-saving assistance to Gaza is not blocked for any reason by anyone. We urge Israel to do more to help civilians, knowing full well that it faces an enemy that would never hold itself to those standards, an enemy that cynically embeds itself among men, women, and children, and fires rockets from hospitals, from schools, from mosques, from residential buildings, an enemy whose leaders surround themselves with hostages, an enemy that has declared publicly its goal to kill as many innocent civilians as it can, simply because they're Jews, and to wipe Israel off the map. That's why we've made clear that Israel is fully justified in confronting Hamas and other terrorist organizations. And that's why the United States has done more than any other country to support Israel's right to ensure that October 7th never happens again. Israelis were dehumanized in the most horrific way on October 7th. The hostages have been dehumanized every day since. But that cannot be a license to dehumanize others. The overwhelming majority of people in Gaza had nothing to do with the attacks of October 7th. And the families in Gaza whose survival depends on deliveries of aid from Israel are just like our families. Their mothers and fathers, sons and daughters, want to earn a decent living, send their kids to school, have a normal life. That's who they are. That's what they want. And we must not lose sight of that. We must not lose sight of our common humanity. We remain determined as well to pursue a diplomatic path to a just and lasting peace and security for all in the region, and notably for Israel. And that diplomatic path continues to come into ever sharper focus as I travel throughout the region and talk to all of our friends and partners. An Israel that's fully integrated into the region, with normal relations with key countries, including Saudi Arabia, with firm guarantees for its security, alongside a concrete, time-bound, irreversible path to a Palestinian state living side by side in peace and security with Israel, with the necessary security assurances. Over the course of this trip, we discussed both the substance and sequence of steps that all would need to take to make this path real. That includes steps by the Palestinian Authority to reform and revitalize itself. And I reaffirmed the imperative of those steps in my meeting today with President Abbas. Chief among them, improving governance, increasing accountability to the Palestinian people, reforms that the Palestinian Authority is committed to make in a recently announced reform package, and that we urge it to implement swiftly. Now, we can see so many of the actors in the region lining up to move down the path that I just described. But some are not. Some are trying to sabotage that path. Iran and its proxies continue to escalate and expand the cycle of violence that we all want to break. We'll continue to defend our people. We'll continue to defend our interests in the face of such attacks, not to fuel escalation, but to prevent it. Finally, in my discussions today with the Prime Minister and senior officials, I also raised our profound concerns about actions and rhetoric, including from government officials, that inflame tensions, that undercut international support, and place greater strains on Israel's security. The people of Israel have sacrificed enormously to forge this nation and to defend it. They all ultimately decide the right path to take, and whether they're ready to make difficult choices necessary to realize the vision of the long, elusive prospect of true peace and true security. As a true friend of Israel, as the country that has always been first to its side, whether that was May 14th, 1948, or October 7th, 2023, we will always offer our best advice on the choices before this country, especially the ones that matter the most. Thank you. Happy to take some questions.
The first question goes to Zolan Kal-Youngs with the New York Times.
Thank you, Mr. Secretary, for the question. Just have a couple for you here. I know that you said there's still room for agreement in terms of the negotiations over the release of hostages. But the Prime Minister, after you spoke with him, pretty bluntly dismissed Hamas's response. describing it even as ludicrous. I just want to clarify, is this response or these negotiations DOA at this point? And what specifically did the Prime Minister object to in that response? Also, the Prime Minister, shortly after you met with him, made clear that Israeli troops will be moving deeper into Rafah. Will the United States simply stand by as this action is pursued, even with 1 million Palestinians, more than 1 million Palestinians being held are in Rafah, seemingly with nowhere to go? And if I may, Congress is now moving ahead with a bill that would pair aid for Ukraine with aid for Israel. Would the administration endorse any potential package that once again prohibits UNRWA funding? Thank you.
That's impressive. Now, I'm taking it that that includes the questions of all of your colleagues as well. Is that right?
I don't think so. Couldn't do that.
All right. Starting with the first part. Look, as I said, we've looked very carefully at what came back from Hamas, and there are clearly non-starters in what it's put forward. But we also see space in what came back to pursue negotiations to see if we can get to an agreement, and that's what we intend to do. And I'm not going to speak for Israel or anyone else involved, but again, we believe the space is there, and we believe that we should pursue it. With regard to Rafah, look, as I said before, Israel has the responsibility, has the obligation to do everything
Matapos,
possible
hindi
to ensure
matapos, sa
civilians
isang
are
oras lang
protected,
tayo, no?
and that they get the assistance they need in the course of
1
this conflict.
hour public service.
Any military campaign, military operation that Israel undertakes needs to put civilians first and foremost in mind. And I suggested, again, some ways to do that. And that's especially true in the case of Rafah, where there are somewhere between 1.2 and 1.4 million people, many of them displaced from other parts of Gaza. So we want to make sure, again, that in anything that's done, in any military operations, the situation for civilians is first and foremost in mind, and that the necessary steps are taken to make sure that they're protected and they have the assistance they need.
You suggested some ways to do that.
Well, I just went through a number of things that we urge Israel to do now on the building on what it's already done in terms of both humanitarian assistance and civilian protection. And as I said, in the case of Rafah itself, that's extremely important because it has such a dense population, including many people who've been displaced from other parts of Gaza. And on UNRWA, look, we were deeply concerned by the allegations that were made about the participation or involvement of some of its employees in October 7th. And it's imperative that, as the UN has said it's doing, that there be a thorough investigation, that there be clear accountability, and that there be clear measures put in place to make sure that this can't happen again, that personnel working for it were not in any way involved in terrorism or the events of October 7th. We know that the work that UNRWA performs, the functions that it performs, have to be preserved because so many lives are depending on it. And so going forward, we're going to look to the actions that are taken. And as I said, it's imperative that the functions be preserved.
Then would potentially support an aid package that still prohibited funding for UNRWA.
I'm not going to get ahead of our views on hypothetical pieces of legislation.
Although there was already an aid package that the administration endorsed that prohibited that funding.
1 hour public service.
Thanks.
Thank you, Mr. Secretary.
For the next question, Gil Tamery with Channel 13.
Mr. Secretary, thank you for the opportunity. Gil Tamery, Channel 13. It seems to be that the entire Biden doctrine vis-a-vis Israel, a future Palestinian state.
Ikaw, hindi kasama si Ana. Ikaw magbalita mo dito? tapos tayo na lang sa Wigo, tapos ihati sa sa pati sinandi. Tami, doon kayo magsakay kay.
Okay, mga suki, mga kapatid, kasi may lakad, no? Okay. Ayan, sandali lang, i-break natin and then i-close natin kasi may important lakad, no? Ayan. Ayan.
Female voice, male voice, lolly voice, monster voice.
Okay, last na po ito mga kababayan. Wala tayong oras. Okay, paalala po ng yung mga negosyante, no? Lalo na po sa corporation, no? Okay, important dates to remember. Okay, the 2024 annual financial statement at saka itong GIS, no? Okay, yung general information sheet at saka itong annual financial statement, no? So, kailangan mag-comply tayo, no? Ako problema talaga mga kababayan. Dalawang aming corporation po dapat i-comply ito mga kababayan, no? Okay, katatapos lang sa business permit. And then ito naman po mga kababayan. And then BIR naman, no? Okay. Ayan, paalala po sa mga negosyante ito, ito ay binigay po ng Security Exchange Commission. Ito po ay paalala para hindi tayo mag-penalty. Okay. Galing po ito ng opisina, okay, ng Security Exchange Commission, no? Sa Makati. Okay, filing session is here. Ihanda na ba ang yung annual report, gaya ng annual financial statement, AFS, general information sheet, ng sigurado, on time, okay, makapagpasa, at makaiwas po ng multa, makaiwas sa multa, para sa late filing. Okay, ito po ang trabaho naman natin mga suki, mga kababayan na. Okay. Okay, nilabas po ng Securities and Exchange Commission nitong Enero 27, 2024 ang Memorandum Circular number 2, Series of 2024, kung saan nakasaad ang schedule po ng pag-submit, okay, ng annual financial statement at saka itong okay, general information sheet para sa lahat po korporasyon rehistrado sa SEC, no? Ako nga dalawa po mga kababayan, no? Okay, na kailangan ito mga comply. Okay, ito po mga suki na. Okay, pakibasa ang Security Exchange Commission Memorandum number 2, Series of 2024 here, no? Okay, kahit kunti lang kasi may lakad ako. Keep your company in good standing by submitting your reportorial requirement on time para sa mga nag-avail ng Security Amnesty Program. Huwag sayangin ang pagkakataong ito. Okay, binigay po na mabalik sa good standing ang inyong kumpanya. Take note of the date, no? Okay, hindi ko nabasahin ito. Okay? Hanggang, okay, marami pa basahin, no? Okay, marami basahin kung basahin ko lahat ito mga kababayan, no? Okay, all annual reports shall be submitted online through the Security Exchange Commission electronic filing and submission tool, EPAS, at epas.cec.gov.ph, no? No hard copy shall be required. Electronic lahat ito mga ang gagawin natin, no? Okay, no over-the-counter and courier submission shall be allowed. Other report not yet accepted through EPAS to be emailed at ICT D submission at cc.gov.ph po mga kababayan, na. Okay. For a step-by-step guide on how to enroll and submit report on EPAS, okay, watch our tutorial video. Okay, di ko nabasahin mga kababayan, na. Okay, alam naman yan mga sekretary, okay, ng mga corporation, no? Mga accountant nila, okay, sa finance mga kababayan, na. Okay. So, yan lang may bigay ko sa inyo. Sa kanilang balikan natin ito. Okay, kasi wala na tayong oras mga suki, mga kababayan, no? Ayan. So, okay. Last na balita lang mga suki, no? Sandali lang.
Female voice, male voice, lolly voice, monster voice.
Gustuin lang natin isang oras, no? Okay, last na balita di Zamboanga, no? Okay, ang 3,923 elderlies in 3 barangays get 1K, 1,000 quarterly cash incentive. O, basahin po natin ang balita ito. Some 3,923 senior citizen katulad namin from Barangay Mampang, Bungan and Lunsuran received their 1,000 pesos quarterly cash incentive during a distribution ceremonies were headed by Mayor John M. Dalipe on Monday. Ayan po mga kawan. Sandali lang, no? Okay, balikan natin itong news ito. Okay. 3,923 elders, mga matanda katulad namin, no? Mga tiguang. Okay. Okay, forming part of the social amelioration program, which Mayor John M. Dalipe rolled out in July. The financial assistance for the 3 barangays amounted to 8.455 million pesos, no? Of the total of recipients, 1,451 hail from Mampang, 1,597 from Tugbungan, and 875 from Lunsuran. However, due to the large number of recipients, okay, the distribution of the 1,000 quarterly cash assistance has been cash assistance has been divided into 2 days, wherein 1,980 senior citizens received. Anong receive? Received their financial assistance on Monday, where the remaining 1,943 are set to receive their assistance on Tuesday. This initiative is just one of the many ways the local government of Zamboanga in demonstrating its dedication to inclusivity and social welfare. By prioritizing the need of the elderly population, Mayor Delipe aimed to create a community is supportive and caring for all its members regardless of age and status, facilitating the distribution of the cash said were personnel from the City Social Welfare and Development Office, CSWDO, paymaster from the City Treasurer Office, CTO, barangay officials, and senior citizen officer. Its beneficiary must bring both original and photocopy of the senior citizen ID in claiming the assistant mga kababayan. No? Balikan po natin ibang balita kasi wala na tayong oras mga kababayan. No? Paalam na kasi may lakad ang inyong abang lingkod mga suki. No? Ayan. So, yan. Ito na po mga kababayan. No? Paalam tayo dito sa programa natin sa umagang ito, mga suki mga kababayan, magmula sa Consolidated News natin, sa platform ng ADLSNTV News Online Corporation, sa programa Halo-Halo Special Opinion Balita at iba pa, no? Kasama po sa Servisyo Publiko Tinig ng Mamamayan, and then sumbungan ng mamamayan, no? Batiin ko muna si Dear Tia Karing. At saka itong magaling mga programa nila, public service itong si Uncle Bing Enriquez mga kababayan. Malakas ang programa nila. Yan po ang katapusan ng balita natin. And then paalam tayo mga tagapakinig, no? Lakad na kami. Ayan. So, sa programa ko ay lagi po sinasabi magmadali, no? Hinila na ko. Hinila na ko ng anak ko mga kababayan, no? Ayan, sa programa ito, asahan nyo walang masamang tinapay para sa lahat, no? Hindi ako mag-iwan ng masamang tinapay. Sigurado 100% wala akong masamang tinapay kahit kanino mga kababayan. No? Ayan. Okay, paalam. Okay, lakad muna. Okay, sa programa mahal niyo. Okay, pangatlo lang kay Tia Karing at sa kay Tumbing Mr. Bing Enriquez po ng sa kabilang studio. No, pangatlo lang kami. Okay. Ayan po mga kababayan. No? Okay, salamat. This has been Abs na mahal lamang po sa mga ito. Layas muna mga kababayan. Bye-bye na.